Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Small Business Surgeon. Yes, I have been away, and yes, it was great. So, welcome back to Friday Fire. This is very much needed, man. There's not been a new Friday Fire since April, and I'll be honest with you guys, I did not realize that it had been that long. The time just flew by. It's October 11th today. And wow, where did the year go? Well, it went on work, man, and it went on building a better infrastructure. It went on building a better business. It went on building an e-com company, a coaching company, a consulting company, and it went on turning us into one of the first legitimate business brokers in College Station, because that's my home market. There's no business broker here, and it really ties everything together. So last year, the reason for all this stuff and for all this upheaval and for all this extra work in becoming the small business surgeon, last year, Nina and I went and competed on what is the most watched reality television show on entrepreneurship on the planet right now, called The Blox. And it's a television show put together by MTV's Wes Bergman for budding entrepreneurs as well as seasoned entrepreneurs. And they all come together and they lock them in a hotel for a week, and you all compete to find the best startup operator, the best business runner, the best business owner on the blocks. And that was a wonderful experience. And I can't. I'm not going to go into too much detail on a Friday Fire. We'll make an entire episode about the blocks. But the level of stress that I felt as the small business surgeon, you're in a room competing with 80 other entrepreneurs and business owners, and somebody owns Bob's Bagels and somebody else owns Pete's Auto Body Repair, and like if they don't win a competition about how to run a business, this it's not really a big deal, because they're there to showcase their business and to learn and get better. Whereas I'm the guy that calls himself the small business surgeon. Like, come out and say, yeah, I'm really good at this stuff. I can help you with your business. I can fix this and fix that. So you can imagine the amount of pressure it put me under, because this is my entire life. It's my entire brand. Like, go prove your shit. Go and prove you know what you're doing, like on live television against 80 other people. Well, wow. What an amazingly stressful experience. And, at the time I was working quite heavily on that postgrad in artificial intelligence as well. So Nina loved it. She had a great time. She thought it was wonderful running around, being on camera and stuff. And I loved the experience, but I wouldn't be quick to go and relive that chapter. But what it did was, we won. We were one of three winners on the show. Obviously, that's what I set out to do. I envisioned winning. I shut my eyes. I manifested it. I pictured myself on the stage. I pictured the audience. I pictured hearing my name called and all that stuff. So we did win. But what it allowed me to see really was just how small of a game that I'd been playing, and just how little I was thinking. From previous shows and a lot of guests, I spent a lot of time in Apex, the business network in Dallas. And Apex was a wonderful, wonderful network to be a part of. And it attracted a certain type of character that was similar to its founder, Ryan Stewman, wonderful mentor. Did a bunch of good for me, and but it attracted guys like him. And so, I thought that most business owners were going to fall into that category. And what the Blox did was really open my eyes to see that there's such a massive cross-section of people from all walks of life reaching out on their own, starting their own businesses and saying, you know what, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Like, from guys that were selling banana pudding on street corners to a guy that had invented this spray that took away smell and had the patents to it, to a fella that had invented and patented a new way for eye lenses. They weren't glasses. They would pop little lenses on their eyes. And it was just incredible stuff. It really gave me an eye-opening as to the entire cross-section of entrepreneurship. Again, people from all walks of life. And it allowed me to see the need for the small business surgeon to actually, pull his socks up and get his shit together. Because for years, this podcast, I never really tried to monetize it. I just used it to speak to people and to further my own interests and my own curiosity. But you know, like a mechanic whose car's falling apart, and like a house painter who hasn't painted his house in 10 years. I was just running off of work that came in. We put a little content out, a little work would come in, a little content out, a little work come in, just super easy and like pretty comfortable. Yeah, it's a bit of hustle. Can we get some cash coming in? Can we make a little bit more money? But pretty comfortable. And it allowed me to see that I was playing small and I should be helping people. So I took a lot of time the last 6 months, in fact, since Christmas, building a curriculum. When I went to England, that was like the top of my mind. It was, let me have some time off, let me have some thinking time, and let me start developing this curriculum. And so I've got maybe 35 or 40 modules now across 2 different courses that we've built. We've put it in a group on Skool. I give away a bunch of education. And this last few months, it's just been launching and testing and launching and testing both of the skincare brand, Lux Serena, that we built for Nina, and the small business surgeon brand, the clinic, the school, the training programs and everything. And then dealing with life. You know, when you add all that up and then have a business to run, I still have clients I work for. I still build websites and digital infrastructures. I'm doing a video right now for a client that will get turned in before the end of this week. But you can see why the podcast kind of just fell a little bit down the pecking order. It's just because there's enough work, there's enough money, there's enough of everything. And now I'm like, well, shit, I'm not doing any podcasting. I'm not talking to this entire audience I spent all this time building. And more importantly, I'm not helping them to achieve the things they're trying to achieve, which is my entire objective here. My entire objective is to help build a better world for entrepreneurs and make a shitload of money. Right? It's not just make a shitload of money. Like, I want to build a better world for entrepreneurs, and I want to give them systems that I've used and that I've discovered and that I've modified that work in the real world. You know, that's why I'm setting out. This shit is hard, man, and as much help as you can get. Like, so now it's all built. You know, my focus is on this week, finishing up some projects. I've got to hire some team members. I need probably at least 3 team members next week. Which is it's going to be easy. I'm a Sphere Rocket dealer now, so my buddy Justin owns Sphere Rocket. I went through his dealer training certification, so I can help find employees and help companies build processes. It all comes back around. But now I want to get to the subject of today's podcast, of today's Friday Fire. You know, after 8 minutes of fucking ranting to you guys, I'm ranting with a smile on my face, though. It's been a great break. It's been very positive. But I want to get back to today's lesson and the fundamentals of Friday Fire. Today's lesson is nothing works unless you do. And, you know, I can't remember who taught me that, but it's been in my head for a very long time. You know, if it's to be, it's up to me. Nothing works unless you do. And that is one of the most critical fundamentals in all of business. I think there's far too many people think that they're going to sell a bunch of stuff and hire a team and then just kick it and chill. And it doesn't work like that. You know, in my job, everybody wants like the newest, shiniest, fastest thing, and they're very, very easily distracted. And with all the new stuff coming out, you know, it's every day you're getting a knock on the door. Hey, buy my AI chatbot. Hey, we'll install this in your business for free and it'll do this. And like, everybody's distracted by that shiny stuff because it offers them an opportunity to make income without doing the work. And if we go back to nothing works unless you do, what a lot of these guys starting out are looking for is a way to generate income with zero work. And what they buy is the promise that they'll be able to do that. It's the same with the Amazon stores. You pay 20 grand and you'll have residual income. It's the same with Airbnb, arbitrage. You know, pay us 20 grand and we'll do this. And it's always 20 grand. Like, it's always just out of reach, but you can make it, and you're going to pay 20 grand. You're going to get this magic fucking Amazon shop that pays you money every week. And it doesn't work like that at all. Everybody wants the shortcut, but nothing works unless you do. And It's difficult for me because people come to me and say, "Hey, can you build me this?" Like, I had a guy the other day wants me to build him a lead funnel and marketing campaign to capture people that are in financial dire straits. And you know, it doesn't always go like that. You don't need a lead funnel and marketing campaign to capture people in dire straits. You need to find where the people in dire straits are first, and then you need to go put a message in front of them and solve their problem. And so I started to think when I'm writing this podcast, the easiest way to break this down and the easiest way to understand the fundamental of business that you're all trying to avoid doing is this. There's four parts to business, right? There's find something that you love to do, something you're good at, something you're passionate about, something you love to do. Figure out what problem that solves. Get really, really good at the thing you love to do, and then figure out what problem it solves. Then you find people to solve that problem for, preferably people with the money to pay you in order to solve that problem. And then you have to tell the world that you can solve that problem. And that's where it all breaks down. Most people fail at telling the world that they can solve their problem, myself included, right? Absolutely. I put my hand up, say, yeah, that's where it all falls apart, because building something, finding something you love to do and figuring out what problems it solves and looking up your target demographics and figuring out your marketing, that's fun, right? Nobody's pushing back against us. Nobody's telling us no. Nobody's making us look down at our shoes in embarrassment because we've given them such a terrible sales pitch. Finding something you love to do is safe. It's easy. Figuring out what problems it solves, that's safe. It's easy. Finding people to solve that problem for, it's fairly easy. But going out into the world and saying, I am Sam and I do this. Oh, wow. That's difficult. And we put that aside and we try to avoid doing that work. Yet you only make money when you provide value to somebody. Money and time and business, it's a trade. You're exchanging value with somebody. They're going to pay you X dollars for X dollars worth of value. Yeah, that's all it is, right? And so figuring out what we love to do and figuring out the problems and figuring out where these people are is the easy part. The work comes telling the people that you solve the problem and helping them and being their solution. And that's where most of us skip. It's most of us fail. It's where most of us immediately try to delegate or abdicate from the authority of the problem. I hired a sales guy. He does that. I don't like talking to people. I don't like sales. I don't like networking. I don't like going out. Yes, well, I don't like it either. But the fact is, like, your network is your net worth. How many times do I got to say that on this show? Like, getting out in front of people, talking to them, shaking their hands. You can do all this stuff on the internet. That's great. We've got social media where you can build followings, hundreds of thousands of people, like in months, right? But even if you have a following of hundreds of thousands of people, if you're not getting in front of them every day, and if you're not making that offer and saying, here's what I can solve for you, and here's how I can solve it, that is the hardest part. You will never get paid unless you're willing to do that work. So even though most of us are technicians, most of us are nerds, most of us like doing the thing that we sell, none of us like selling it. And so even though we want to retreat to our spreadsheets and we want to retreat to the safety of the office and the safety of the computer screen, the bottom line is, if you don't wake up in the morning and leave the cave and find something to kill and drag it back to the cave and kill it and cut it up, you're not going to eat. And yes, I know that's a little bit of a harsh description, but it's a real life metaphor. This is a contact sport. It's a full contact sport. Like, if you don't go out there and do the thing, then you don't get the money. You don't win the prize. You don't win the fight. And right, and we spend so much time as business owners trying to make everything look perfect. And well, when I get my new website put up, oh God, do you know the number of people? Oh, well, we're getting the website redone. That's not our, yeah, don't look at that. Yeah. Do you know the number of fucking people I have that conversation with? Like, your website should be redone probably twice a year at a minimum. And when I say redone, I mean refreshed, I mean updated. I mean, you should have somebody in your toolkit whether they're on your staff or in your cell phone, you should have somebody in your toolkit that can pop in every 6 months and make sure everything's going okay on the website. But the number of times I get people call me and like, well, yeah, we're getting the website redone. Well, of course you are. Yes, everybody is. But really, like when you're starting out, you don't need a website. You don't need an AI chatbot. You don't even need Facebook ads, right? You need to put your shoes on, go pound the streets, knock on doors, knock on digital doors, knock on real doors, put out content, go to networking events, use the internet as your networking. Right? Put your content there and treat it like a networking event, but you've got to go out in person too. Like, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And it's back to the same thing. Nothing works unless you do. So in order to fix that, what you got to ask in front of your business is very simple. What problem do I solve? Who has this problem and can afford to pay me to fix it? Where are they? And that's it. You go and you get in front of them. And if you do that work, and you do it 5 times per day, whatever industry you're in. For me, I learned this in real estate. I wished I'd learned it in car sales. I would have sold a lot more cars. Right? But in real estate, if I wasn't making 5 calls a day, I didn't get all my little checkboxes on my day and I didn't win the day. Right? You have to have conversations. Conversations create clients. Conversations create closings. What problems do I solve? Who has this problem and the money to pay me? Where are they? Get in front of them. Go out the door. Get out there in the real world. Stop looking at the shiny objects and just roll up your sleeves and actually go sell the thing that you do. And your business will take off. The reason it's not working is because nobody knows what problem you solve. Nobody knows what you can do for them. And nobody knows you exist. So get out there and do the work. All right? Because nothing works unless you do. That is going to do it for today's Friday Fire, guys. I hope that helps. I hope it inspires you a little bit over the weekend to roll up your sleeves and say, hey, you know what? I could do a little bit better here, because when you do the work, everything seems to fall into place. Okay. You'll have a great weekend, guys. I will be back Monday. Monday's show is Natalie Henry, a multiple best-selling author. She is on talking about all things to do with her newest book. So that was a great interview. She's a wonderful guest. You'll enjoy that. And yeah, you'll be good. And have a safe weekend. And if you get into trouble, give me a call. Let's go find some trouble together. All right. I'll see you guys Monday. Bye. All right, guys, that wraps up another episode of the Small Business Surgeon podcast. I hope that you have taken away some valuable insights from today's show. If you did and enjoyed it, be sure and hit that like and subscribe button and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're serious about growing your business and you want to be a part of a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, just go to followsam.live and join our free group, The Clinic. All right, I'll see you next week.